them from the Texas Economic Development Council. And we hashed it out, and this is what we kind of come up with. The position summary is something that generally is what gets posted when we go to posting the position out in public. So that's kind of important because it's a snapshot of what the position is about. And you can go through this section by section if you like.
I'm ready.
Have you read it? Did you have any recommendations or changes? Or?
I think it did a good job.
Well, I would just say that it's very thorough, and I like the fact that the language in there, you put the communication, cross-communication amongst all the different entities, Chamber of Commerce, which, you know, all those things are very important. The only question I do have is when you turn to page 3 at the bottom, and it talks about the develop, implement, coordinate programs for remote tourism in the city to use the hotel motel tax. Well, who actually holds the hotel tax now? Is it the city of Floresville?
The city gets it, and then you as the city move it into our account, or you give us.
Currently, it's all held by the city, and it's up to the city council to appropriate that during our budget to say we collected this much, we want to split it with whoever. Currently, the city holds a majority and does allocate some to the event center. So it would be up to the city council to appropriate that if they want to move some of that to economic development, they could.
That was my question, because I didn't think that we had any of that money available.
Not at this time.
Right, okay, well, and that's why I bring it up.
Well, but I don't, even if you, technically, even if we didn't, it would still
It still
be a
doesn't
good
matter.
thing
Yeah,
for
have it
that
there.
person
Right.
to be involved with.
Well, that's true.
I guess one of the things that gleaning through all these different ones and visiting with some of my friends that, and all, something that Floresville EDC does different than a lot of other cities. A lot of the other cities, the ED answers to the city manager.
Right.
So that was where we had, I don't know why this one developed where the ED answered to the board here, but that's one of the things we did, and I thought it was very unique. You mentioned before, if we was a part of the city more, they would actually pay the ED and we would reimburse them for that expense, but they haven't chose to do that. I don't know why.
Have we asked the city council? I mean, maybe that's the discussion we need to have, if that's the direction we want to go.
Well, I think at some point in time, depending on who is found, that might be the way it needs to be done anyway, because of possibly benefits and the things like that, because if you're a one-man shop, it's hard to obtain those kind of things, so that might be something to address in the future.
And that's what I bring it up. This is the way we wrote it
Right.
for now, for
And
this
many
one.
of them, like Andy said, the ED would actually report to the city manager.
Right.
Is that what you've seen, Andy?
Yes, ma'am, typically that's the way it is. Most economic development coordinators fall under the city manager and hold the title of assistant city manager per se.
Right.
That way they're
Right.
eligible to use their resources.
That's
And
consistent.
that's their job duties and their focuses
Right.
at that point.
So in the future,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the situation, the city council, they may want to pull that in to be under their
Right.
more directive.
Right.
Do you remember, Ram, why it was set up?
At
this
the
way?
time, as I recall, the person that we had from Austin and helped us develop this criteria, and there weren't that many, statewide, They tried to, see, the problem was that a lot of them wanted to have, economic development in their community, but a lot of people didn't want, they wouldn't pass it, And now, afterwards, a lot of more have got involved in it, and they've seen what people have done through the EDC, and now, a whole bunch, statewide, have really gotten involved in it, And I think, the approach, what is being discussed right now is that, yeah, more involvement should take place within the city itself, because you gotta have that partnership, because, you know, you're working, you know, to progress the community as a whole and better the community as a whole, you know? So, as to why, you know, but afterward, we never got to the point where, you know, they said, well, let's try to join, you know, both together.
Second thing I noticed in reading through these, and first of all, before going further, thank you, Mary Helen, for putting a lot of work into this too. She did a great job organizing. Second thing is, on most ED companies and organizations, they're more on the incentive side of it, where they provide incentive for people coming to town, businesses, et cetera, instead of project-based like we're doing. Right now, we're probably allocating that several years of funds to a couple of projects we have going out now, but they really are more inclined to do incentives, and so we're trying to set that up in here so we can do incentives as well as strictly be a project-based.
I do see where I left the board highlighting, bolded.
I hear a motion to approve this.
I make the motion that we approve the job description that's been prepared for the Economic Director of Floresville Economic Development Corporation.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item C, CNA and developing a potential contract language for the position of Executive Director for the FEDC.
Well, speaking as the chair of that particular committee, we were all looking at the complexities of not only the job description language, but contract language. And I don't know that contract language is something that we per se need to be specifically writing ourselves. I really feel like that has got to have legal oversight. Mike?
That's what I'm
Still on the same.
David, you were sitting in on that.
I have the same feeling about that.
There were things about terms and, salaried position versus whatever. Just a lot of things that I think wouldn't want to get us into a position of writing something up that would not pass muster. So if we're going to do a contract, and I think right now, getting the job description out and posted is our first goal anyway,
Right.
to get that out. We can get the contract language started,
Right.
At a little bit later date.
That could be negotiable too, once you get the process
Exactly,
started with the person you
exactly,
find.
exactly. So,
Should that be something we have written up, or is that something an attorney needs to be?
well,
Probably,
You know,
I feel
But
like an
write it
attorney
as
needs
you
to be
go, or-
involved with that, but,
Right.
I think he needs to look at it, make sure we're compliant.
So what's the recommendation of the committee?
well, the recommendation would be that we, I don't feel like we're at a point right now where we can actually write contract language. I think
Right.
that's got to be, maybe we table this and recommend that we get legal counsel to develop contract language.
Are you making that recommendation in the form of a motion?
I certainly am.
I second that motion that we table, developing potential contract language for the position of executive director for the FEDC.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item D, CNA for seeking potential methods to begin the search for an executive director for the FEDC.
In my minutes that I wrote up for our meeting, our personnel and search committee meeting, we came up with Texas Economic Development Council site, the Texas Workforce site, site, the Texas Municipal League Career Center site. Those are three free work sites that are probably the smartest ones for us to use, because that's where folks who are looking for these types of positions is going to look. I would ask Andy, do you have a recommendation of any other site that you are familiar with?
No, ma'am, I think you've covered them with the Texas Municipal League. You'll get a response from all over the state as well as out of state too, because they
Okay.
go up on that website. I
So,
think you'll be able to obtain some excellent candidates.
so my recommendation and motion would be that we use these three sites at a minimum, or at least initially, to post these.
Hold on.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the websites, please?
Texas Economic Development Council site. Texas Workforce site. And the Texas Municipal League Career Center site.
You're gonna leave out the local newspaper for now?
I'm really not sure, we talked about that, and we don't feel like that's where these candidates are gonna be looking. So I don't
Keep it
really
professional.
no offense to our media representative here, but I think we've gotta go where these types of candidates are gonna come from. We also discussed the possibility of, going to some of the universities where these folks graduate from. That might be another avenue for us to look at. And I would say, why don't we try these three sites first? Because I think this is where we would have our best opportunities. And then if we see that nothing's moving, then we might look at the university site.
Okay, so you're gonna make that a motion?
Yes. That we use these three sites to get this jump started.
And that is, you know, say those out.
Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't record it all down?
Well, I think you did. I think you did. That's
It's the Texas Economic Development Council site,
Texas Workforce Commission.
the Texas Workforce site, and the Texas Municipal League Career Center site, to post
Second on
those
that.
positions.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item E,
Okay. Item E is just basically, I wanted to get this in the minutes and brief the board on what this was about. And this is filing a claim with TML in reference to legal fees that we have spent in that lawsuit filed against the FEDC. You know, you can talk to people on the phone, they're not going to give you an answer. And it's not gonna cost us anything to file a claim. I've talked to Mr. Jocelyn about if he was okay with that. Would you like to add anything
No,
to
that's,
that?
that's fine with me. You just give me the directive and we can file paperwork with the Texas Municipal League and then wait for a response.
Yeah. So really, what I'm doing is coming before you tonight in the form of a motion that we file a claim with TML to get a definitive answer on the claim.
I second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item F, CNA to cancel earnest money contract with New Haven Development,
Okay.
escrow funds from reliable title in the amount of $3,000 regarding this action.
Yes, so this came about when I was actually going through information in the office, when Jesse was kind of leading me through and pointing me in different places. Well, he had mentioned some earnest money that we had on this contract, but didn't know where it was. And so I just happened to be at Reliable Title in Pleasanton, and they said, hey, by the way, we've got some earnest money for the FEDC. So.
Seriously, he did not know where the money was?
Well,
or
that's
he
what he
didn't-
told me. I asked him if it was in the general fund or where was it being held, and anyway, didn't have a good answer, but, okay, so, my first question to them was, well, have you made every effort possible to identify these people? And their answer to this is yes. And when How old is this contract? May of 2010 is when it was initiated, May of 2010.
Well, it's probably an interest-bearing account though.
Yeah, so anyway, here's the bottom line is that they've made efforts to reach these folks. We have a 15-day period, which, you know, basically the contract, I think would be null and void anyway because of the time frame. But we have a 15-day period after the title company sends a letter of demand. So our role here tonight, and I bring this in the form of a motion to terminate the earnest money contract with the New Haven Development and seek the escrow funds from the Reliable Title Company in the amount of $3,000.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed?
May I ask a question? What was New Haven Development?
Well, it had to do, I don't know exactly what it was, but it had to do with some lots at the business park. And it might have been another apartment type developer.
Hope that didn't mean a lot to you get such a contract on.
Anyway, so, but it needs to be cleaned up. So I'm gonna actually call a few other title companies too and see what
Item G,
Goes to the Rolodex.
C, to appoint a new board member to the finance committee. Whose item was that?
Well,
He's appointed, and he's the chairman.
really, it's the president's role to appoint. I put the item on there because we've lost
Who did we
Mr.
lose?
Ramirez
Okay,
due
that's
to
right, that's right.
him taking the position here, so I'd like to have at least another person. I think it's healthy to have three people, you know, communicating on those topics. So. He was actually already on it, Ray was. So, do you remember that? Okay, good.
Is anyone currently not on any board, or we're all sitting on committees?
Yeah.
Well, the three of us are one,
And then,
those two are one, so there is one.
You're pretty good in finance,
It's
aren't you?
on the end of that, you're not on one.
David's on our.
Yes, I'm on
He's
it.
on the personnel.
I really think the president needs to be on
I
that.
think someone that's more knowledgeable in
I
finance.
make a motion that David Crozier, I'll be on the personnel, on the finance committee.
I got my plate full.
We all do.
We have a second.
I'll
Can I
move
be
to
fine?
this.
Hmm?
I guess I'll take it, I'll do it. Might as well load it up with more.
Yeah.
We all do that.
David, if you really don't want to do it, I will help with it. If you want to do it, that's, I think
You
the
know, if
banker
you wanna-
should be the one to take the position.
Yeah, I really do too.
Don't look at me like that. Oh, you're doing your eye.
Well, you know, really and truly, most of the legwork is gonna be done, myself, working with Mr. Ramirez to get the information to report at the committee, you know. So, this is really about process, procedures that we wanna follow.
Did I hear Andy?
If I voted
He shamed
no,
you
it's
into
a-
it, right?
Okay, so,
We're gonna appoint Andy.
There we go.
Motion is appoint Andy
You have
Eubanks
to,
to the finance committee.
you have to vote on the previous motion. You still have a motion, a second on the floor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, so we have to vote on the previous motion.
And
That
It was,
was,
Or
you were
maybe
nominated.
Were you nominated?
I made it.
Well, you can withdraw it.
I withdraw my motion. Withdraw the second.
all right, the motion was withdrawn, and all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? You wanna make, I'd make the motion now to appoint Andy Eubanks to the finance committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations.
Well, another half.
Item H,
Mr. Chairman, when I saw, item 8 come up, I was concerned that this may have been in violation by not providing sufficient information to identify the property or the issue before us. in regard to the Open Meeting Record Act. I contacted a couple of attorneys to see if there was, I didn't know which property it was, because it doesn't describe this is, offer to purchase, offer to sell, and one of those attorneys being the city attorney who is, since we do not have an attorney of record on now, he said, yes, this is not sufficient. And he recommended that we not take any action on this, that we set an immediate meeting for another one to properly post a notice to do that, to take care of this matter that needs to be taken up as expeditiously as possible. So the recommendation from the city attorney and the second attorney that I contacted said that's what we should do on this.
So that's in a form of motion to table this item H.
I guess I will make a motion, we table it because it's possibly in violation of Open Meeting Record Act.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Now, can I ask, what language do we need to have so we're in compliance?
From what I understand, and not being an attorney, we need to say consideration acting FEDC property offer regarding the Lone Oak subdivision property. We do not have to identify a specific lot, but we have to give enough so the public knows what lot we're doing. Offer a property, FEDC property offer to sell lot in the Lone Oak subdivision.
A lot?
And we actually have it under contract right now, don't we?
Right. Do you have to indicate what lot or?
You don't
No.
have to. Maybe, since it's under contract, if I'm correct, we need to, it said to FED property to amend existing offer on Lone Oak subdivision lot.
It would be to amend the minutes, because that's what the issue is with the minutes, correct, David?
I believe so. I believe
Yeah,
so.
because the previous meeting, you know, it was acted on August 17th, 2012. And, you know, the only thing that they went through everything, and the only thing that they left out was that, you know, a certain partial of the property that it was to be sold.
I guess,
To identify.
I guess we really, for Mr. Rodriguez, we should maybe try to hold a special meeting this week and get this issue resolved.
It's been hanging out there a long time.
Too long.
We couldn't,
So, you'll post it?
I'll post it, you know, we can have it,
Can we do a mid-morning meeting, Mr. Rodriguez, or?
Anytime convenient for us.
What day will it
We just need 72
70
hours.
hours, so you're looking at Thursday, Friday morning, and we can do it,
I mean,
we can do it,
I necessarily don't have to be here, I mean, it's,
yeah. Well, the only thing we'll do is put long, you know, what was
the specific
indicated.
lot, no.
be? So you've got the language that
Yeah,
needs to be
yeah,
posted?
yeah.
Well, I'm available.
I'm
I'm
available.
available.
We do it at noon time?
I've got a doctor's appointment.
Okay.
Okay.
Noon's
What about
fine.
noon?
What's
Are you back by noon or not?
It depends what time, no, probably not, 'cause
That's
it's
fine.
45.
We've got quorum.
It takes 2 hours from now to ophthalmologist.
What time? We're talking about Friday?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Friday?
Oh,
It doesn't matter.
well,
72 hours.
Thursday's fine, but not Friday.
Yeah, that's
For me.
Should have.
As long as we have a quorum.
Noon tomorrow,
It'll have to be Friday.
It's gotta be Friday.
Friday,
Friday.
to be on the safe side.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
Tomorrow morning.
Good morning, y'all probably have a quorum.
We probably will.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
Friday morning at what time?
Noon.
Friday.
That's
Oh,
fine.
wait a minute, wait a minute. Last time we had a meeting, our committee meeting was at 12 noon, the front doors were locked and nobody could
Yeah,
get in.
well,
That's right.
We can't do that again unless
1:30?
No,
we
no,
keep the front doors
sure,
unlocked.
yeah, no, we'll
1:30.
open.
Okay.
It would have to be Friday if you posted it tomorrow morning, it would have to be Friday morning.
Yeah,
It'd be
we-
the-
we've
Yeah,
done that.
yeah, right.
So
To be on the
1:30?
safe side.
1:30 is fine.
Okay, so 1:30.
Yeah, you don't gotta come, it's cool.
Can you come at 1:30?
Yeah.
Okay, because we're all going to be,
Television on,
That's the only item.
are you here?
I have a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.
May I get a copy of the job description that you guys have?
Yes.
And a copy of the treasurer's report? That's so disgusting.
I gave you that one, and I get one.
Yeah, I didn't have a formal written report, which I should have.
Thank you.